In the bustling orbit around Jupiter, the trading stations thrived with commerce and chatter, a melting pot where myriad species mingled. Captain Eli Martinez, a seasoned human spacefarer, maneuvered through the crowd with an ease born of years in cosmopolitan hubs. His mission was simple: procure spare parts for his aging spacecraft. However, on this day, his routine would catalyze a series of events that would ripple across the galaxy. Eli's journey took an unexpected turn at a crowded stall run by a Cretan merchant known for his rare collection of interstellar engine components. As Eli examined a critical piece, he overheard the merchant's snide remark to a fellow Cretan: "Humans, they grasp at straws in the galaxy, pretending to matter." The words, spoken in a derisive tone, were not meant for human ears, but Eli heard them clear as day. The comment stung more than Eli would admit. He straightened up, part in hand, and locked eyes with the merchant. "Maybe you should tell that to the humans who helped broker peace in the Trilarian sector," Eli responded sharply, his voice steady but edged with irritation. The merchant sneered, his eyes narrowing. The mighty humans, always so quick to boast. A fluke of diplomacy, nothing more." The crowd around them thickened, sensing the tension. Eli, aware of the growing audience, knew he had to tread carefully. "We've earned our place in this galaxy, just as much as any," he replied, his tone firm, commanding respect. The Cretan waved a dismissive hand. "Earned, more like stumbled upon it. You humans are little more than children playing at the adults' table." That was the last straw. With a swift movement, more reflex than decision, Eli dropped the part, clenched his fist, and swung. The punch landed squarely on the merchant's jaw, sending him sprawling back against his merchandise. The impact was met with a mix of gasps and cheers from the onlookers. Security drones descended quickly, their lights flashing as they navigated through the crowd. Eli held his ground, his chest heaving, as the drones recorded the incident. The Cretan merchant, nursing his jaw, shouted accusations, but the crowd's reaction was mixed. Some condemned the violence, others justified Eli's defense of human dignity. As Eli was escorted away by the station's security, his actions already began to spread through the network of traders and travelers. The incident, captured on various devices, became a viral spectacle. Across distant planets and ships, the story morphed and grew, painting Eli as a symbol of human pride and tenacity. By the time Eli was released from a brief detainment, with a stern warning and a fine, the narrative had taken on a life of its own. The story was no longer just about a brawl over a slight. It was a declaration of humanity's refusal to be belittled or dismissed. The sentiment resonated, particularly among human colonies, sparking discussions, debates, and, ultimately, a unified cry. Humans were not to be underestimated. Little did Eli know, his impulsive act of defiance was the spark that ignited a larger movement. His personal stand at a trading post on the fringe of Jupiter was about to become a galactic testament to the resilience and spirit of humankind, heralding a shift in how all species perceived the humans among them. The repercussions of Eli Martinez's skirmish at the trading station were felt far beyond Jupiter's orbit. As the footage of his confrontation spread, it sparked a fervor among human colonies across the galaxy. While most admired Eli's defiance, a coalition of alien species saw it as a blatant display of human arrogance. Unconvinced of humanity's strength and emboldened by their own technological superiority, the coalition planned a swift, decisive strike to subjugate the humans and quell their rising influence. Their target was Mars, where a crucial human outpost served as both a research hub and a defense station. Eli, having returned to active duty, was now stationed at this outpost, assuming a leadership role. The memories of the altercation were still fresh, his resolve hardened by the encounter and the subsequent support from his peers. Without warning, the coalition's ships dropped out of hyperspace, their weapons primed for destruction. Alarms blared throughout the outpost as everyone scrambled to their battle stations. Eli took command in the control room, his eyes scanning the incoming fleet on the radar. "Brace for impact. All units, prioritize shield integrity and prepare countermeasures," Eli barked orders, his voice a calm force amid the chaos. The first barrage from the coalition was fierce, shaking the outpost as its shields flickered under the strain. Yet the human response was swift and unexpectedly cunning. Utilizing the outpost's advanced artillery systems, Eli orchestrated a defensive strategy that utilized not just firepower, but the harsh Martian landscape to their advantage. "Lure them into the Deimos Valley. We can use the terrain to bottleneck their advance," Eli instructed his pilots, who darted out in their nimble fighters, drawing the enemy closer to the surface. The coalition forces, confident in their superior numbers, followed eagerly, only to find themselves caught in a meticulously laid trap. From hidden positions along the valley's ridge, human forces unleashed a torrent of fire. The tight quarters left little room for the larger coalition ships to maneuver, turning their numerical advantage into a liability. As the battle raged, Eli's tactical acumen began to shine. Every volley was calculated, every move was strategic. The coalition, realizing too late that they had underestimated their opponent, attempted to retreat. But the damage was done, and their withdrawal was as chaotic as their assault had been. In the aftermath of the battle, the human outpost stood surprisingly intact. The coalition's forces were decimated, their ships either destroyed or severely damaged. The victory was not just a military triumph, but a psychological one. The message was clear. Humanity was far more resourceful and resilient than many had believed. Back on Earth and across human colonies, news of the victory spread like wildfire. Eli, once just a captain, became a symbol of human ingenuity and defiance. His tactics at the Mars outpost were studied and celebrated, becoming a key example in military academies across human-controlled space. The coalition's failure had unintended consequences. Rather than deterring human expansion, it galvanized their resolve to protect their sovereignty. Across human territories, preparations intensified, with outposts and colonies fortifying their defenses and expanding their capabilities. Eli watched from the command center of the Mars outpost as the last of the coalition ships limped away. A smile played on his lips, not out of triumph, but from the knowledge that this battle, though won, was just the beginning. Humanity had been challenged, and they had responded not just with strength, but with a clear warning to the galaxy: underestimate them at your peril. In the wake of the stunning defense of Mars, the spirit of unity and resistance among humans grew exponentially. News of Captain Eli Martinez's tactical brilliance had spread across human settlements in the solar system, igniting a collective call to arms. This was not just about survival, it was about securing humanity's place and respect in the galactic community. From the bustling cities on Earth to the remote mining colonies on asteroids, humans rallied, propelled by a newfound sense of solidarity. It was in this atmosphere of fervent preparation and pride that leaders from various human colonies reached out to Eli, proposing a grand alliance to defend against any future threats. Eli, recognizing the strategic and symbolic importance of such a union, agreed to meet with these leaders on the neutral grounds of Luna, Earth's moon. The summit was unprecedented, gathering figures from diverse backgrounds: scientists, military veterans, colony governors, and diplomats, all united by a common cause. In the Great Hall of the Luna Peace Center, Eli took the stage, addressing the gathered assembly with a gravitas that commanded attention. Today, we stand not as isolated fragments scattered across space, but as one humanity, united against those who would see us subjugated or erased, Eli declared, his voice echoing off the high domed ceiling. The response was a resounding cheer, the shared enthusiasm palpable in the air. Over the next few days, the leaders hammered out the details of what would become the Human Galactic Defense Alliance, HGDA. This alliance would coordinate the defense efforts of all human colonies, pooling resources, sharing technology, and standardizing military training. The agreements signed at Luna were just the beginning. Training camps sprang up on various planets, focusing on combined tactics that integrated the unique environments of each colony into their defense strategies. Eli, appointed as the commander of the Alliance's forces, oversaw these preparations, ensuring that every human fighter was not only well-equipped, but also well-prepared to face any galactic threat. Meanwhile, the successful defense and the formation of the HGDA did not go unnoticed by the rest of the galaxy. Other civilizations, previously neutral or distant, began to take an active interest in the burgeoning human alliance. Some saw potential allies in humans, while others considered the implications of a united and militarily capable humanity. Eli understood that the path they were on would lead to further challenges. As he toured the training camps, visiting troops and inspecting their readiness, he was constantly briefed on the shifting political winds within the Galactic Congress and the movements of various alien factions. One such briefing brought news that would once again test the resolve of the HGDA. A coalition of alien species, perhaps the same that had attacked Mars or perhaps a new conglomerate, was seen amassing near the outer colonies. The intelligence was clear. Another conflict was inevitable. As the sun set over the training camp on Europa, casting long shadows on the icy landscape, Eli watched the troops drilling under the harsh light of Jupiter. Their determination filled him with pride and a steely resolve. "Let them come," he whispered to himself, almost welcoming the challenge. "This time we're ready." The creation of the HGDA and the solidarity it fostered marked a new era for humanity. They were no longer disparate settlers fighting alone. They were a united force, ready to defend their freedom and their right to thrive among the stars. As the news of the approaching threat reached the far corners of human space, it was met not with fear, but with a rallying cry that echoed Eli's sentiment. Humanity was ready, come what may. As tensions escalated with the coalition of alien species, the Galactic Congress, an assembly representing various civilizations across the galaxy, convened an emergency session to address the rising conflict involving humanity. Captain Eli Martinez, now a prominent figure within the Human Galactic Defense Alliance, HGDA, was summoned to represent Earth and its colonies. The stakes were high, as the outcome could either cement humanity's sovereign rights or expose them to further extraterrestrial aggression. The Grand Hall of the Galactic Congress was located on a neutral planet, designed as a symbol of galactic peace and cooperation. As Eli entered, flanked by his advisors, the diverse array of alien delegates turned to observe the human delegation, some with curiosity, others with undisguised contempt. Eli's reputation had preceded him. Tales of his tactical prowess and the subsequent unification of human forces had spread far and wide. As he took his place among the delegates, the president of the Congress, a wise and ancient being from the Andromedan system, called the session to order. "Ladies, gentlemen, and esteemed beings of the Congress, we gather here in the spirit of peace and mutual prosperity," the president began, his voice calm yet carrying across the crowded hall. "The issue before us concerns the recent militarization of the human sectors and the allegations of aggression by the Allied coalition. We seek a resolution that will ensure peace without compromising the sovereignty and rights of any civilization." Eli was given the floor. Standing before the assembly, he delivered a speech that was both a defense and a plea for understanding. "Honored delegates," Eli started, his voice clear and confident. "Humanity has always strived for peace. The formation of our defense alliance was not an act of aggression, but a necessary response to protect our people from unprovoked attacks." He continued, detailing the challenges humans had faced, the unprovoked attack on Mars, and the defensive measures they were compelled to adopt. Eli appealed to the Congress's principles, emphasizing humanity's willingness to cooperate with other species and contribute positively to the galactic community. The session was intense, with various species voicing their concerns and opinions. Some delegates expressed sympathy and support for humanity's plight, while others, likely aligned with the coalition, accused humans of destabilizing the galactic order. After hours of debate, a resolution was proposed. The Galactic Congress would send a fact-finding mission to the human territories to assess the situation firsthand and ensure that the HGDA's actions were purely defensive. Additionally, a temporary non-aggression pact was suggested, to be signed by both humans and the coalition forces, until a more permanent solution could be negotiated. Eli and his team negotiated carefully, ensuring that the terms respected human sovereignty while demonstrating their commitment to galactic peace. The pact was eventually signed, and the Congress agreed to reconvene after the mission's findings were presented. As Eli left the Grand Hall, he felt a cautious optimism. The immediate threat of aggression was stalled, and humanity had been given a chance to prove its intentions were honorable. However, he knew the real challenge lay ahead, in convincing the fact-finding mission of the righteousness of their cause and the necessity of their preparations for defense. Returning to his ship, Eli looked out into the cosmos, aware that the eyes of the galaxy were now intently focused on humanity. It was a responsibility he did not take lightly, and he was determined to ensure that when the Congress reconvened, they would see humanity as a valuable and equal member of the galactic community. The journey back to human space was quiet, reflective, but beneath the calm, there was a resolute determination to prepare for any outcome. Despite the temporary non-aggression pact and the ongoing deliberations of the Galactic Congress, a rogue faction within the alien coalition, discontent with the diplomatic proceedings, decided to launch a surprise attack. Their target was a human mining colony on an asteroid belt, a crucial point for human industry, providing rare minerals for space construction and technological manufacturing. Captain Eli Martinez, now back at the helm of the Human Galactic Defense Alliance, HGDA, received the distress signal while overseeing defense drills on a nearby moon base. The urgency was palpable. The rogue faction's attack was not just a violation of the pact, but a direct challenge to the authority of the Galactic Congress and the resilience of human defenses. "Scramble the response fleets. I want every available ship there now," Eli ordered, his voice ringing with authority as his team hurried to comply. Within minutes, a fleet of human warships equipped with the latest armament technology developed by Earth's finest engineers made the jump to hyperspace, racing towards the asteroid belt. As the human fleet arrived, they found the mining colony under heavy bombardment. The rogue faction's ships, aggressive and heavily armed, seemed to expect an easy victory against the miners. However, they hadn't counted on the rapid human response. Eli took command of the fleet from his flagship, quickly assessing the situation and deploying his forces with strategic precision. "Delta Squadron, flank them from the right. Gamma, provide cover fire for the colony. We need to push them back and protect those miners," Eli directed, his eyes glued to the tactical displays. The battle was fierce, with both sides exchanging heavy fire. Human ships, more agile and better coordinated, began to outmaneuver the larger, more cumbersome rogue ships. Eli's experience and tactical acumen shone through as he exploited every weakness in the enemy's formation. Meanwhile, on the asteroid itself, the colony's own defense units, made up of miners who had trained for such an emergency, mounted a ground defense. They used the rugged terrain to their advantage, setting up defensive positions and using improvised explosive devices to deter ground assaults. As the battle progressed, the rogue faction realized their miscalculation. The human response was not only swift, but devastatingly effective. One by one, their ships were disabled or destroyed, their tactics unraveled by the superior strategy and fighting spirit of the humans. With the last of the enemy's ships retreating in disarray, Eli allowed himself a moment of relief. The mining colony had suffered damage, but it had held, and most importantly, the human casualties were minimal thanks to their quick response and robust defenses. This victory was more than just a successful defense. It was a message to the entire galaxy. Humanity was not a species to be underestimated, and their commitment to protecting their people and their interests was unwavering. The rogue faction's defeat served as a stark warning to any other groups that might consider breaking the peace. As the news of the human victory spread across the galaxy, it bolstered the position of humanity within the Galactic Congress. Other species took note of the humans' capability and resolve, which shifted the political landscape significantly. Eli knew that this incident would likely influence the upcoming findings of the Congress's fact-finding mission. As he coordinated the repair and relief efforts for the mining colony, his thoughts were on the future, readying his people for whatever political and military challenges lay ahead. Following the rogue faction's failed attack, Captain Eli Martinez grew increasingly vigilant, suspecting that the assault was not an isolated incident, but part of a broader scheme to undermine human strength and resilience. His suspicions were confirmed when, during routine security checks, an intricate spy network was unearthed within the human territories. It was orchestrated by members of the alien coalition to gather intelligence and disrupt human defenses. Eli convened an emergency meeting with his top intelligence officers and strategists aboard his flagship. The room was tense, the air thick with the gravity of their discovery. "We've got spies planted across our colonies. This isn't just about gathering intelligence anymore. It's about sabotage," Eli stated, his face set in grim determination as he laid out the intercepted communications and spy tech recovered by his team. The spies had been clever, using sophisticated technology to blend in and evade detection. They had infiltrated key military and industrial sites, their goal to cripple human infrastructure and sow chaos before any direct confrontation could occur. But thanks to the vigilance of the Human Galactic Defense Alliance's HGDA security forces, many had been captured, though others remained at large. "Round up every suspect. I want interrogations. Find out who's behind this and what their endgame is," Eli commanded. His team nodded, understanding the urgency. Each piece of data extracted was a potential key to preventing further damage. With the HGDA on high alert, Eli also reached out to his counterparts in allied alien civilizations that had shown sympathy or neutrality toward humans. Sharing the news of the espionage, he worked to strengthen these alliances, ensuring that those who wavered in support saw the coalition's underhanded tactics as a breach of universal trust and law. The breakthrough came when one of the captured spies, under intense interrogation, cracked. The spy revealed a network so extensive it involved not only the coalition's operatives, but also unwitting collaborators from various species, coerced or bribed into service. Eli, understanding the need for both secrecy and swift action, orchestrated a series of raids across human-controlled space. These operations were surgical, aimed at dismantling the remaining cells of the spy network. Each successful raid not only secured vital human assets, but also provided further evidence of the coalition's widespread campaign against humanity. As part of his counterintelligence strategy, Eli leveraged the defectors and double agents within the spy network. These individuals, disillusioned by the coalition's ruthlessness or sympathetic to the human cause, became invaluable sources of information, offering insights into the coalition's strategies and planned sabotages. This intelligence led to preemptive actions that saved countless lives and safeguarded critical infrastructure. The spy network's dismantling became a turning point, showcasing the resilience and sophistication of human counterespionage capabilities. The consequences of these revelations were profound. News of the espionage and the decisive human response spread throughout the galaxy, altering the narrative in the halls of the Galactic Congress. The exposure of the coalition's tactics significantly weakened their position, casting doubt among many about their motives and integrity. As Eli reviewed reports of the operation's success, he knew this victory was more than just a tactical win. It was a significant blow to the enemies of humanity. It reinforced the image of humans not just as survivors, but as formidable, cunning warriors and diplomats in the interstellar arena. The galaxy was learning that humans could not only fight on the battlefield, but also win in the shadows of espionage and intrigue. With the spy network dismantled and the integrity of human defenses restored, Captain Eli Martinez focused on leveraging the tactical advantage gained from the captured intelligence. Among the data were details of the coalition's main command center, a massive space station in a strategic but sparsely populated sector of the galaxy. Eli saw an opportunity not just to strike back, but to possibly end the conflict by crippling the coalition's leadership. The plan was daring and required precise execution. Eli convened his top commanders and strategists to outline the operation, which involved a combination of stealth, deception, and overwhelming force. "We have one shot at this," Eli emphasized, pointing to the holographic display of the station surrounded by its fleet. "We take out their command, and we take out their ability to wage war." To infiltrate the heavily fortified station, Eli planned to use a small fleet of stealth ships, recently equipped with experimental cloaking technology developed by Earth's finest engineers. These ships would slip past the enemy's perimeter defenses, delivering teams of elite special forces directly onto the station. The assault teams, led by Eli's trusted lieutenants, were tasked with securing key areas within the station, including the command deck and communication hubs. Meanwhile, the main human fleet, hidden in a nearby nebula, would wait for the signal to launch a full-scale attack, aimed at engaging the coalition fleet and preventing them from reinforcing the station. As the stealth ships approached the target, the tension among the crew was palpable. The success of the entire operation hinged on these initial moments of undetected approach. The ships, mere shadows against the backdrop of space, reached their target without incident, releasing the boarding parties with clinical precision. The special forces moved quickly and quietly through the station, using non-lethal weapons to incapacitate rather than kill. Their progress was smooth, and within hours they had control of the critical systems. The signal was sent, and Eli led the main fleet out of the nebula, charging into battle with the coalition's confused and disoriented ships. The battle was intense and chaotic, but the human fleet, buoyed by the success of their initial infiltration, fought with renewed vigor. They pushed the coalition forces back, exploiting the confusion and disarray caused by the sudden and unexpected internal assault on their command center. Back on the station, Eli's forces secured the bridge, capturing key leaders of the coalition. The operation was a resounding success. With their command structure shattered and their leaders taken prisoner, the coalition's ability to function as a cohesive force was severely compromised. In the aftermath, Eli initiated negotiations with the remaining coalition forces. With their leadership in disarray, many were quick to surrender or negotiate terms of peace. The human forces, having displayed not only their military prowess but also their strategic acumen, were in a strong position to dictate the terms. The operation marked a significant turning point in the conflict. Humanity had not only defended itself from repeated aggressions, but had effectively neutralized the threat posed by the coalition. As news of the victory spread, it resonated throughout human territories and beyond, altering the galactic perception of humanity. They were no longer seen as a young species to be underestimated, but as a formidable power capable of shaping regional and galactic politics. Eli, standing on the command deck of the captured station, felt a mix of relief and responsibility. The galaxy was watching, and the actions humanity chose to take next would define their role in it for generations to come. He was determined to lead with honor, ensuring that peace, when it came, was just and lasting. In the wake of the dramatic takeover of the Coalition's main command center, the galactic stage was set for profound change. Captain Eli Martinez, having emerged not only as a military tactician, but also as a symbol of human potential and resolve, prepared to address the Galactic Congress once more. This time, his speech would outline humanity's vision for a future where conflicts like the one they had endured could be avoided through cooperation and mutual respect. As the delegates gathered, the atmosphere in the Grand Hall of the Galactic Congress was charged with anticipation. Many representatives, who had once viewed humanity as a minor player, now acknowledged their significant role in maintaining galactic peace. The hall, filled with beings from across the stars, fell silent as Eli took the podium. "Ladies, gentlemen, and esteemed beings," Eli began, his voice carrying across the chamber, "the recent conflict has taught us all a valuable lesson about the dangers of underestimating others and overestimating ourselves." He paused, allowing his words to resonate. "Today, I stand before you not just as a representative of humanity, but as an advocate for peace and collaboration." He continued, outlining the toll the conflict had taken on all sides, highlighting the bravery and sacrifices of many, not just humans. Eli proposed a series of reforms for the Galactic Congress, including better crisis management protocols, a more robust system for addressing grievances between civilizations, and an enhanced role for emerging species in galactic decisions. Eli's speech was met with applause and cautious optimism. Many delegates expressed their support, moved by his call for unity and the evident sincerity of his words. Discussions that followed were intense and productive, with several of Eli's suggestions being taken up for immediate consideration. In the days that followed, Eli worked tirelessly with diplomats from various civilizations to draft new treaties that would ensure more significant cooperative efforts in defense, trade, and technological exchange. The treaties also included provisions for a new interstellar peacekeeping force, one that would include humans and other species as key members, aimed at preventing future conflicts and ensuring the swift resolution of disputes. As the Congress ratified these treaties, Eli felt a profound sense of accomplishment, not just for himself, but for all humanity. They had not only defended their place in the galaxy, but had also helped shape a new framework for how civilizations could interact more harmoniously. The closing ceremony of the session was broadcast across countless worlds. Eli's concluding remarks, filled with hope and a vision for the future, echoed across galaxies, inspiring many who had once viewed the stars as battlegrounds to see them as places of shared opportunities. Returning to human space, Eli was greeted as a hero, but he knew the true heroes were the countless individuals who had stood firm in the face of adversity, believing in their right to exist and contribute to the galaxy. The monuments and parades did not interest him as much as the work ahead, ensuring that the agreements made were implemented and that humanity continued to grow, not just in strength but in wisdom. The galaxy had learned a critical lesson: to never underestimate humans. But more importantly, humanity had demonstrated that their strength lay not only in their military capabilities, but in their ability to lead with foresight and compassion. Eli hoped that this new understanding would define the next era of galactic history, an era not of conquest but of mutual respect and cooperation.